There's a mechanic I know who drives a Lexus. Not the new one you're picturing. His is 15 years old, it has a dent in the tailgate, and he paid less for it than most people spend on a used Corolla. And here's the part that should stop you cold. He could afford any car on the lot. He fixes them all day. He has seen every engine in America opened up on a lift. And out of everything he could drive, he chose the car that nobody else wanted. That is not an accident. The title you clicked on says 8 cars nobody wants, and that part is true. The public will not touch these cars. But the people who actually repair them for a living are quietly buying them up. By the end of this, you will know exactly which 8, why the crowd is wrong about every single one of them, and how to grab one before the window slams shut. Stay for number 1, because it is the cheapest luxury car in America that simply refuses to die. Let me lay the foundation first, because without this one idea, nothing else makes sense. In the year 2026, the car market broke. The average new car in America now costs just under $50,000. Read that again. $50,000 for the average one, not the fancy one. And if you try to finance your way around it, the trap snaps shut, because the average interest rate on a used car loan climbed past 11% this year, and buyers with rough credit are paying north of 20%. On top of that, tariffs added an estimated $30 billion in cost to the industry in a single year, pushing sticker prices up more than 10% and shoving ordinary buyers straight into the used market. So here is where regular people are standing. Priced out of new, squeezed on the loan, and fishing in a used market that everybody else is fishing in too. And that is exactly the moment the smart money does something the crowd would never do. It goes hunting for the cars nobody else will look at. Because a car with an image problem is a car with a price problem. And a price problem is an opportunity if you know what is actually under the hood. The crowd buys the badge, the mechanic buys the machine. So the real question is this: why would a man who fixes cars for a living choose the exact car you would be embarrassed to park in your driveway? The answer starts with a secret hiding in plain sight on the assembly line. Here is that secret. Most of the cars people worship and most of the cars people ignore are built from the very same parts. The badge on the hood is marketing. The engine underneath is engineering. And engineering does not care about your ego. Take the first 2 cars on this list because they prove the whole point. The Toyota Avalon has one of the worst reputations in America. People call it a grandpa car, a stretched Camry for men who wear their pants too high. Toyota stopped selling it here after 2022 because nobody under 60 would be seen in one. Now sit down for this. The Avalon uses the exact same 3.5-liter V6 engine as the Lexus E S 350. Same block, same platform, same bulletproof design that mechanics rank among the most reliable engines ever built. One wears a Toyota badge and gets laughed at. The other wears a Lexus badge and gets respected. And the difference in price for the same machine can be thousands of dollars. That is not a car. That is free money sitting on a used lot. The repair data backs it up cold. Independent shops put the average yearly repair bill on an Avalon at around $460. For a full-size luxury car, that is almost nothing. Owners routinely drive them past 200,000 miles without ever cracking the engine open. In the Lexus Twim, the ES 350 is the same story wearing a nicer suit. You can find clean older ones under $20,000, sometimes well under, and they will run to 300,000 miles on basic maintenance. Mechanics have a name for cars like this. They call them the ones you buy for your own mother, because you know they will never leave her stranded on the side of the road. So if the first 2 are this good and this cheap, you would think the crowd would have caught on by now. They have not. And it gets stranger, because the next car on this list is the one people are the most afraid of. And that fear is completely provably wrong. That car is the Toyota Prius. Say the name at a barbecue and watch people roll their eyes. It is the punchline, the smug little hybrid, and the biggest fear attached to it is the battery. Everybody has heard that the battery dies and costs a fortune, so nobody wants a used one. Here are the actual numbers. Roughly 1 in 8 of every Prius on the road has already passed 250,000 miles. Taxi fleets run them well past 300,000. There is a taxi in Austria that crossed 600,000 miles on its original hybrid battery. The average yearly repair bill is around $400, lower than almost anything else you can drive. The battery fear that keeps the price down is the exact reason the mechanic buys it, because he knows the truth and you do not. Next, the Ford Crown Victoria, the cop car, the taxi, the land yacht your uncle drove. Ford killed it back in 2011, and the public wrote it off as a dinosaur. But that dinosaur runs forever. The V8 under the hood and the simple frame it sits on will keep going long after 250,000 miles. And because police departments and taxi fleets bought millions of them, parts are everywhere and they cost almost nothing. Mechanics love it because when something breaks, the fix is cheap and obvious. You can buy a running one today for the price of a decent laptop. Now it gets genuinely strange. The Chevrolet Volt. When it was new, this car stickered for over $42,000. Today you can buy an early one for around $8,000. That is not a typo. It is a plug-in hybrid, which means it drives on pure electricity for the first 30 to 50 miles, and then a gas engine quietly takes over, so there is no range anxiety at all. Chevrolet discontinued it and walked away from the technology, which scared buyers off and crushed the price. But the battery was engineered so conservatively that even high-mileage examples barely degrade. You are getting the most overbuilt electric car of its era for the price of a used economy sedan. Then there is the Buick LaCrosse, the very definition of an old-person car, quiet, soft, and invisible. But the early ones came with an engine General Motors built over 25 million times, an engine so hard to kill that mechanics nicknamed it the cockroach. It shrugs off the kind of mileage that ends lesser cars. You get a quieter, plusher car than the Chevrolets it shares its parts with for less money because the badge scares away everyone under retirement age. The seventh car is for the person who secretly wants something fast. The Infiniti G37. No German badge, so the enthusiasts ignore it. But it makes 330 horsepower from a V6 with no turbo to blow up, and it will keep pulling well past 250,000 miles on nothing but oil changes. One writer described it perfectly. It drives like a BMW, but it lasts like a Honda. Clean ones sell for under $10,000. And here is the tell that the secret is getting out. Their prices have basically stopped falling. The bargain window on that one is closing as we speak. And the eighth car is the one people are simply too proud to buy. The Honda Odyssey. A minivan. Nobody wants to be seen in a minivan while everybody else fights over overpriced sport utilities. That vanity is your discount. A used Odyssey costs less than the SUV parked right next to it, while holding more people, more cargo, and one of the most dependable track records on the road. A 6-year-old one sells for under $13,000 against an original price near $30,000. It was voted the #1 minivan of the year, and the crowd is handing it to you cheap out of sheer embarrassment. So that is all 8, and every single one of them is cheap for the exact same buried reason. But that reason is where this story turns from a shopping list into something you actually need to understand. Here is the reason. Every car on this list is cheap because of image, not because of quality. Follow the money and it all snaps into focus. The car business does not profit from you buying a 15-year-old Lexus and driving it for another decade. That customer is a disaster for the model. The business profits from you chasing the newest badge, the fashionable shape, the sport utility everyone else wants, financed over 7 long years. Reputation is manufactured. Depreciation is real. And the gap between what a car is actually worth and what people will pay for it is exactly where a smart buyer lives. The mechanic understands something the marketing will never tell you. A badge is a sticker. A drivetrain is a fact. When he looks at that Grandpa Avalon or that dorky Prius, he does not see the image. He sees 300,000 miles of cheap, reliable driving that somebody else was too proud to claim. Now, before you run out and buy one, the same honesty that got you this far demands a few rules. Because a great car with a bad history is still a bad buy. Rule 1. Always pay for an independent inspection before you sign anything. On a used car, $150 is the cheapest insurance you will ever buy. Rule 2. Learn the one weak spot on your chosen car and check it. The Prius has a brake part that wears around 150,000 miles. The Crown Victoria has an intake gasket that goes around 100,000. The Volt has battery modules worth checking. Every one of these cars has a single known issue, and every one is manageable if you know it is coming. Rule 3. Buy on condition, not on badge. A beaten Lexus is worse than a loved Buick. And Rule 4. Check every recall by the vehicle number before you hand over a single dollar. Do those 4 things and picture where you land. A few years out, you are driving a car that cost you a fraction of what your neighbor financed. It still has 100,000 miles left in it, and when something small breaks, you fix it for a few $100s and keep right on going. That is the exact math the mechanic in his 15-year-old Lexus ran a long time ago. He was not being cheap, he was being early. And here is the last surprising fact, the one that proves the whole game. A recent study looked at over 170 million cars to see which ones actually reach 250,000 miles. The average car has less than a 5% chance of getting there. The cars that beat those odds again and again were not the expensive, fashionable ones. They were the plain, boring, overlooked machines the crowd drives right past. Reliability was never about the badge. It never was. So here's what I want you to take away from all this. The car in your driveway does not have to impress the neighbors. It only has to start every single morning and cost you almost nothing to keep. The people who fix cars for a living already know this, which is exactly why they drive the cars nobody else wants. The badge fades, the payment ends, and what you are left with is a paid-off machine that owes nothing to anybody. That is the real win. If this saved you from a bad car payment, do me a favor and hit subscribe, because next time I am naming the 5 so-called reliable cars that mechanics quietly refuse to touch, and one of them is probably on your shopping list right now. Tell me down in the comments which of these 8 you would actually drive, and be honest about it. I read every single one. I will see you in the next.